Hey guys, so today I'm in the Sheffield Clinic in Burley again, as you can see. Got a little bit of time spare on my hands again, so I'm going to talk to you about something that affects a lot of people, if I'm honest, from what I see daily. And that's a sort of interpain in your shoulder, specifically when outstretching your arm this way or above this way, and you tend to find pain in here and difficulty doing so. Also difficulty contracting your bicep tendon by doing this sort of motion. So what that usually happens in this sort of issue is the fact that your bicep tendon is actually pulled or torn. The weakest point is the attachment point, which is when it tends to go. Now, your bicep tendon splits into two in the insertion in the shoulder. It actually flows into your shoulder here. And what you find is that there's two parts. One is called the coracoid process, which is one of the heads of the bicep attaches there, and then through the other part, which it goes a little bit further up, is supraglenoid tuberosity. So what tends to happen is your muscle pulls away from those when you tend to play. For example, what I see is individuals with a lot of overhead sports. So cricketers, they extend their arm backwards, and then here there's a lot of power translation from this motion to go across and bowl forward. So a lot of power and weight is going back, outstretching the bicep. Same with tennis players. Again, when they throw the ball up, they have to do this quick motion, quick stretch here of the bicep tendon as they're about to go down for that serve. Similar thing if you're just doing your daily stuff. You might be driving and you want to reach into your handbag behind you in the back seat, doing this sort of thing. You're stretching the bicep to the point that it tends to pull away, and you find some sort of sharp pain, which is quite debilitating for most individuals. So this little video is just a little quick trick on how to do this. You'll need some K-tape, you need some scissors, you need to cut it in some basic shapes like this. There's not really much of a right or wrong way here. It's just something that looks like the muscle when you cut it, so I tend to use this more than anything. Occasionally, if I want to really attach it high into the shoulder, I'll use two attachment points. It just depends on your musculature and how much muscle there is. And then you'll also want the resistance band for some basic exercises. You could also get away with using some weights, but I would start with something like this because it loads your muscle in a safe manner. You could also use the cables, which replicate this in the gym rather than free. Okay, so now that you've got your basic shapes done, I'm going to use this one for the purpose of this. Again, same rule applies. So the top initial inch is an anchor point that we don't stretch, and the bottom inch again is an anchor point that we don't stretch. If you have a longer piece working over a longer piece of your body, or a longer part of your body, shall I say, you'll want 1.5 inches or 2 inches of an anchor point, just so it sticks a little bit better. Now what you want to do is you want to roll up your sleeve. It works better if somebody else does this for you or helps you out. But basically the pain that you're feeling is inside here. Now an easy way to test it is if you put your arm in an elbow at 90-degree angle, so you're sort of in this position with your elbow, you want to put it down by side like this. You want to feel here where there's like a lump, just where your sort of pec meets your deltoid muscle. In your deltoid muscle just inside there's a little bit of a lump, a bony prominence, a little bit sensitive. What you want to do is you want to rotate out with your elbow, and another lump comes across from the inside here, that way. So the lump here in this normal position when my palm is facing forward is there. I twist my arm open and another lump appears. Now that is your coracoid process. That's quite tender to palpate. It's quite difficult to find where it is, but you might be able to find it if you try these steps. If it hurts whilst pressing on it or just around that area, that's your bicep tendon that's been pulled or torn. So what you want to do is, first of all, you get your tape, okay? We pull away the first sort of inch and a bit as an attachment point, okay? Start from the bottom up because the bicep works from the bottom up, so we start there. So you find where the muscle belly is in your bicep here, okay? I want to sort of attach it to here. Bear with me, this is very difficult to do it as one person. Just sort of above your veins there, and that's your first inch that's attached. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to peel off rest of the tape. There you go. Oh, this is really difficult, one person at a time. Okay, now that it's there, what you want to do is you want to stretch it and attach it, sort of keep the line straight so there's no bend in the line. Okay, attach it there. I'm just going to pat this down here. Okay, so this is nice and steady now, and this is my anchor point now. I'm just going to attach it there, meeting with the actual bicep. Bicep meeting with the deltoid, just disappearing under that muscle. So what you got here now, this K-tape is now helping me do this motion. Okay, so your bicep actually has to work a little bit less to achieve this, which means it doesn't have to work as hard, especially if it's pulled. The K-tape acts as a secondary muscle, so it sort of allows your bicep to breathe and relax a little bit, and everything that you might find hurts while you're doing this exercise sort of doesn't feel quite as bad, or you don't find that you need to do as much work to do the same as you could before. So what I would say is definitely do this. Another one that you have is this one. So if you have a little bit more muscles, okay, what we're going to do is same principle. So I'm going to try and pat this one down as I go along. Maybe use a little bit bigger of an anchor point so it doesn't peel off as I put it down. Again, same principle applies. So just about the middle of the bicep, just above the crease of the elbow, just there. Okay, then we peel this off to about the last 1.5 inches. Now, oh bugger, I got it caught, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay, we're good. I saved it. Okay, so we've got that now, and all we do here again is pull it up and attach it down. Now, not ideal to have a crease here, but that's because I'm doing it on myself. So if you have someone to help you with this, just don't let it fold over on the middle. Make sure that it's flat. And then what you're going to do is you're going to peel away these two little pieces. For a little bit of a better attachment, you're going to angle this outwards to here, pat it down, bit of stretch, and then anchor point. Okay. Now the whole time you're doing this, you're making sure that your bicep is straight. Okay. There we go. So that's on there properly now. Okay. Again, this is to help with the bicep, just to help it do a bit of work like this. So it's going to be a bit easier for you to do this motion. So no matter what you're doing, what sport you're playing, when it comes to doing that motion, this will help during the shortening contraction of the bicep. Okay, so now that we've got the tape on, I would keep that on for maybe 2 or 3 days at a time. Let it rest without 2 or 3 days on, and then put it back on again, just so your muscle doesn't get accustomed to having it all the time and having that help all the time. Okay, next step you want to do is strengthen it. Now, because your muscle's pulled in the week, especially at the attachment points near the tendons in the joint here, the problem you have is you need to encourage growth hormones for repair. Okay, after the 3-day period of when it initially happens, you don't let it rest. You need to work that muscle. Okay, avoid outstretching movements specifically. Avoid doing your sport if that's as a result of the actual sport that you injured it, until you feel safe, until you feel better. For now, just concentrate on strengthening it to encourage growth hormones and repair. The way you do that is through exercise. Now, I would avoid free weights because the way that you load your muscle is not consistent. Okay, if you have your weight down here, it's quite heavy. You bring it up here, you've got a lot of tension, and when you bring it up here, you can rest and it relaxes. And then because of gravity, as soon as you get to this point, your weight wants to drop, which means your bicep is loaded a lot faster, a lot sharper, a lot quicker, with more weight than it should need to. Okay, so that's not safe. Now, if you're not strong enough, there's a yellow band which is weaker than the red. If that's easy for you, double it up, then go into the red, then double this up, then go for the purple or green, and then the black eventually. So those are just the steps. Simple movement you're doing is, I'm going to start off with doubling it because this is quite weak for me. So I'm going to stand on it, or put my foot on it, as if you would be a bodybuilder and doing your bicep curls in the gym. All you're doing is you stay in this position here. Okay, so I've stood on the tape. Okay, in this position like this, and I'm just exercising it like this, and you can see the bicep moving where the tape is. That's exactly what I needed. That's exactly what I wanted. Additional benefits of the tape is, because it's on top of the skin, okay, what it does is actually peels the skin away from squishing the fascia, which actually holds the muscle, which means your muscle can breathe a little bit better, and that's why it encourages more blood flow, therefore more cleanup of the old tissue, and why you're exercising more fresh blood going to the area, bringing in new fresh nutrients. Okay, so I would say do this 3 or 4 times a week minimum, 12 to 15 reps over 3 or 4 sets, if you're okay with that, and pain permitting, of course. But yeah, this is basically all you want to be doing. So with this exercise, it's very simple. Give it 2-3 weeks and then see how you get on. I would also encourage that you gently massage it yourself, the entire muscle, just like this. Get a bit of lotion or while you're in the shower, whatever, and just spend sort of 2 minutes on the inside, 2 minutes on the outside, just massaging it. Work it in with your thumb where the spots feel tight. To me, the video actually cut out there, so I'm just going to finish the last couple of points now. When you do your exercise, make sure you use the full range of the muscle, so you don't just want to be doing this bit like this, okay? You want to make sure that your muscle go all the way down, nearly straight with your elbow, and then back up. Make sure you do it slowly as well, so roughly 3 seconds, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, okay? That's usually the parameters that you're working with. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, please give me a like and subscribe, it would help me out massively.